Okay. Hi and hello. So this is the first video I have ever made. I don't have a channel or anything here on YouTube, and yeah, this video, I was just feeling kind of pressed by the Lord to make this, and just share my experience with having a dream recently that kind of woke me up to my own reality, and just kind of a wake-up call from the Lord for me as a wife and a mother. So I guess I'll just jump right into it and share. So this is about a dream. As I said, a dream that I had. It's probably been almost a week ago now. And I actually wrote it down, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking down at this to recall more accurately what the dream was, and just what I want to share. So first I will go ahead and share what this dream was, and then share what I got out of it, what my reaction was to it at first and in general, and share what God taught me with this. So here goes. So this dream was solely focused on myself and my husband and one other person that was in the dream. So I don't remember specifically how the dream started. I don't personally think that was very relevant. I just know, okay, that in general, this is about me and my husband and this other woman that came into our lives out of, I don't know where. And basically, this is gonna sound twisted, but basically this woman came out of nowhere, and for whatever moral reason in the dream, my husband and I accepted to have this woman as a part of our marriage and relationship. And in my dream, it felt very real, and so it was very heartbreaking for me. And so basically my husband was all for this. I don't know what I didn't know what the moral reason was and why my husband accepted this, whether it was because they had a child together before my husband and I met, or they were married prior to my husband and I getting married. I don't know, but basically I had to morally accept this, and I even accept it now in real life. If something like this were to happen, of course, I would probably leave my husband if he were to try to do something like this. But in my dream, for some reason, I accepted it. I allowed it to happen. So basically, there was this woman that came along, and just suddenly she was a part of our marriage. And basically, fast forward, I had just accepted this. I was still heartbroken over it, and it's like fast forward into this dream, and I was having basically I watched my husband sleep with this woman. I watched him make love to her, and it was so heart-wrenching to watch that. It felt like I really watched it, and watched my husband enjoy it even, and that was even harder, and watched her enjoy it, and it was very hard. So this other woman, I didn't have a face to the woman. I didn't know who she was. Even after waking up, I didn't know who it was. There was no face to this woman. It was just a woman. And basically, yeah, I watched them do it, and I sat right outside the doorway of where they were, in our bed. And so then fast forward again, a little bit later on, myself and this woman were having a conversation, We were just walking somewhere, just casually, and we were having a conversation. One moment while I check this. So basically, in this conversation, I just started pouring out my emotional distress to this other woman. Just started kind of venting to her. Even though I felt like she was my enemy in my dream, I just started venting to her. And so at this time I was bawling my eyes out, and I asked her, I know I said other things to her, but the part that stood out was this. I asked her, doesn't it hurt you or bother you to know that he sleeps with me too? And asking her this, I know I was asking her because I knew it hurt me to see and know that he was with her. He was, sleeping with both of us. And then her response to this was, hold on. It does not bother me because I just know that I am sexually fulfilling him, so it's no threat to me. She was just a very confident woman. She was very confident in herself, very confident that I wasn't a threat to her, that no other woman was a threat to her or her relationship with him. And so, of course, on the outside looking in right now, this looks very odd, right? It looks very screwed up. Like, what? This can't be a message from God, right? So anyways, upon waking up, so that was basically the dream. That was the end of it. I don't remember exactly how it ended, but I know that those were the points that stood out in this dream and were so vivid. It felt like it really happened. So the next morning, I just felt in such distress over this dream. I was just so stirred up from it. I mentioned it to my husband in the morning before he went to work, and he was just kind of like, that's really weird. And yeah, but the first half of that day, I was just in such distress that I was just not myself. I was not, doing my regular duties around the house, and, with the kids and stuff. I was just really out of it. And I just kept praying. Like, I kept asking God, like, what is going on? What was this dream? Why did I have this dream? Is it from you, Lord, or is it from Satan, or is this an attack, or what? I knew I was not going to allow myself to assume that it was, some vision because my husband was cheating on me or something, because of course then I would know, that's definitely coming from Satan, because there's no other evidence that my husband is, being unfaithful. So I know God's not going to reveal something like that just in a dream and with nothing else, nothing in actual reality to prove it or stand behind it. So I just went ahead and cast that thought out. Of course, it kept trying to creep in because that's difficult when you just, you have this vivid image in your head of your husband sleeping with another woman, and it was just, it was so eerie. So I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I was getting online looking up, how do you know if a dream is from God or Satan, or, I was looking up, how do you translate dreams? I was just looking things up, trying to find some kind of answer or understanding, because I just couldn't get over it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It's the only thing I could think about. So nap time came around for my children, and I got them put down for their nap, and I nursed my little boy to sleep. And so while I was nursing him to sleep, I was just laying there kind of praying. And then after I got up, after he was asleep, I just came and sat alone and just prayed. I pulled out my Bible and I just prayed and sat there just in the quiet. And I started writing down the dream. I wrote it down, and as I was just reassessing everything in the dream, it's like as I was going through that part by part, God was just kind of showing me, this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I'm showing you. This is the part that's important. And so the part that stood out to me the most was the part where I had that conversation with her. And her response, most of all, is what stood out. It was her response to me, telling me, you know, you're no threat to me because I know that I sexually fulfill him. Basically, I know that this dream was from the Lord. He was showing me something. He was warning me too at the same time, that, you know, I need to be that woman. I need to become that woman that is confident and that is fulfilling her husband and sees no other woman as a threat. In the past, I've been bad about that. I've been bad about being insecure and taking that out on my husband, and just bickering at him at any notion that I think, you know, he might be giving another girl a glance or attention or anything, or, you know, he works at a corporate job and, you know, he sees women every single day, all the time. I mean, he works in the city, so he's constantly passing by women, and I'm sure there's a lot of beautiful women that he passes by. So in my insecurities, I let those thoughts get to me. I let Satan get in my head and get to me and sit here and put these lies in my head about my husband, who is going out there in this sin-filled world every single day and working his butt off to provide for our family so we can have a home and healthy food, and so I can be here to take care of our children, so we don't have to send them off for somebody else to take care of them while I go work too. So ultimately, I mean, God just woke me up with this dream and showed me, you need to get it together. You need to get your act together as a wife. You need to respect your husband. You need to have confidence. You need to fulfill him and his sexual needs and other needs, you know, and respect and giving him support, because I have been struggling with this. I want to give my husband these things, but I have just struggled so much, and I just kept seeking a way to condone myself in the way I was walking. Basically, I was using my husband's sin and my husband's faults to condone why I am not getting my act together, why I am not obeying the Lord and what he commands of me as a wife. And yeah, it was just a wake-up call to that I need to love him whether he's lovable or not, because God doesn't say, you know, oh, it's okay if your husband isn't loving you the way he's supposed to, then it's okay if you're disrespectful. It's okay if you're not submissive, and it's okay if you deny him his sexual needs. And mind you, I mean, I decided when my husband and I got married that I would not ever tell him no if he asked, or if he, you know, notioned that he wanted anything, and I haven't, other than one time that I was literally already asleep and he woke me up while I was asleep with our little boy, and yeah, I was pretty much asleep when I told him no. And I kind of feel like that doesn't count. So basically, fast forward that evening, okay, after this prayer session and after God revealed this to me and showed me, you know, this was for me, I was showing you this, I want you to see this, that you need to take this seriously, because if you don't, this could be a threat to you. Another woman coming along could be a threat to you if you are not fulfilling your husband. And that's very real for any marriage. because Satan is going to try to attack at every possible chance, especially when he sees a marriage that is striving after the Lord. So that is just a major warning to any Christian couple, any Christian marriage. So then fast forward to that evening. Now I was finally at peace with this. That whole morning I had anxiety and just it just really got to me. But fast forward to that evening, I was giving my children a bath, and while they were playing in the bathtub, I was just standing in the mirror and, you know, fixing my hair. So mind you, the woman in this dream, she reminded me of a woman that we knew in our past. It was just a friend of my husband's girlfriend, or yeah, a girlfriend of one of my husband's friends. Basically, it was just a woman from our past. Like, she's not really relevant, and I was confused as to why I thought, you know, maybe this was her. Although I didn't have a face to the woman in my dream, she's just who I thought of, like who it reminded me of. So then, while I'm giving my children a bath, I was doing my hair, I was fixing it, because it was just a mess, and so I had my hair down, and I was just clipping it up, kind of half up, and I realized in that moment that it wasn't that woman. The reason that I thought that that's who it was, or that that's who it reminded me of, was because of the woman's hair in the dream. Her hair was curly and wavy, and it was clipped half up, and the reason it reminded me of that woman is because she always wore her hair that way whenever I saw her. And so it just, and her hair color was very similar to the woman in my dream. So then I realized, as I'm looking in the mirror doing this, it was me the whole time. This was me. I put my hair up and realized that's what my hair looks like when I clip it up. And I don't know why it didn't register to me before, but I realized that while I was putting my hair up. I was like, oh my goodness. And at that moment, I was just like, wow, thank you so much, Lord. Like, thank you so much for just clearing that up. And like, now I just feel at peace, you know, even after I just watched my husband sleep with this woman in my dream. Like, I was still kind of disturbed by that. So then when I realized that woman in my dream that my husband was sleeping with was me, I was just like, like just a weight lifted. And of course, like, that's how the Lord works. He's not gonna bring us distress when he is, you know, trying to teach us things and show us things. He's not gonna leave our hearts heavy with things like that. I just don't believe that our good God would do that. And I don't believe God would leave such a vivid, hurtful image in my mind like that he gave me in the first place. So yeah, it just brought so much peace to realize that, and just realize that in that dream, these two women were both me, but two different versions of me, basically. There was the version of me that I was, and then there was the version of me that I wanted to be, and that God wants me to be, the woman that I need to become. So basically, there's this past version, or the woman that was my current version, although I have been working and striving to get out of that rut, you know, of being just this worn down, destructive woman, you know, like in the book of Proverbs, you know, God warns that, you know, a foolish woman will tear down her own house. And I don't want to be that woman, but I have been that woman. I have been, and I use my husband's faults to condone it, to condone being complainative all the time, to condone bickering at him all the time, to condone not being submissive to him because he wasn't making decisions that, you know, God would be pleased with, or because, you know, I didn't believe that his decisions were the right decisions, they weren't my decisions, or because he wasn't doing it the way that I wanted him to do it. But I realized, you know, God is in control. He is ultimately in control. And even if my husband makes the wrong decisions, I know that God has mercy. He has mercy. And He will walk us through it no matter what. He will bring us through it. And we have to learn from our mistakes. And, well, I'm not my husband's father. He is. So I'm not here, and I'm not his mother either. So I'm not here to be a mother to my husband. I'm here to be a wife. I'm here to be a helpmate. And I'm so grateful to the Lord for His mercy and forgiveness, because I have done my husband so wrong, and I've hurt him so much. I know I have, whether he will admit it or not. I know I have. And, you know, I pray that He forgives me, and I'm sure He does. And I'm just grateful that I can just try harder today and tomorrow and the next day. And, you know, I'm not going to be perfect. None of us wives are. We're all going to stumble, and we're all going to have, you know, fallbacks. But it happens. We're humans. And it happens. But there's forgiveness. And we are covered in the blood of the Lamb. We are forgiven. So that is basically my story and what I wanted to share. I hope I didn't embarrass myself too much, being that this is my first video. I've never shared a video on YouTube before, but here goes. I guess I'm gonna get this out there, and I just hope that it's a blessing to someone. So, hope y'all have a blessed day.